In today's episode, we're getting lifted. Or is it leveled? I guess we're going to find out.
I'm guessing. Here we go.
Hello everyone, welcome to Challenge to Build, and welcome to the underneath side of my wife's 2004 Chevy Suburban 2500. In today's video, we are going to tackle a leveling kit or lift kit for the truck. This has the torsion bar style front suspension because it's a four-wheel drive truck. So a couple things that you're going to probably want to do before you take anything apart is take some pea blaster and spray the bolts so that way they'll break free a little bit easier, and also spray pea blaster in the keyways up in the front control arms. And then also, before you take anything apart, you're going to want, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a measurement from the retainer, the flat of the retainer down to the head of the bolt, and I've got about 1.25 inches. So what I did was I went ahead and wrote that right over here on the transfer case. Some people take spray paint, put a little shot of spray paint on there as a marker. This way here, when you run everything back up, everything is as close as to original as possible. It is very important to use a proper torsion bar removal tool. They make a couple different styles. This one has a little indent on the top which sits down inside of the cross member, specifically designed for this. This way here it won't move around too much on you. And then there's also an indent on the key where this screws up into. They do make a couple different versions of this style tool. My buddy over at Heart Rock Garage did a leveling kit on his Suburban. It's a little older. He used the kit from Torch Off-Road, but I watched his video on how to remove these, and he did a really great job, and I figured if he could do it, I can do it too. So with everything ready to rock and roll, I guess it's time to get to getting. Let's see here. So that's going to sit there. Now, I've never done this before. I've always wanted to do this. So what I'm doing now is I am adding tension to the key, and already, just after a couple turns, the tension is off of the retainer bolt. So what I'm going to do now is, all right, so that nice thing is we can go at it with a socket wrench now. Come on, baby. There we go. There's the key. It's kind of like how many licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop. How many cranks before the pressure is off? And pressure is off. Well, that was pretty painless. Question is, with how rusty this is, are they going to come out? These bad boys are rusted in there. know if taking the cross member is going to do it. Because I still got to get them out up there. Never easy. Never a dull moment with me. Hey, this will be a great idea. It'll be easy. It'll be fun, they say. Two hours later. Ow. Golly. Am I gonna be able to get it out? 2 hours. Doesn't seem like enough time. Check back with me in a little bit. Wow. Ugh. What a freaking nightmare. Never can get the easy ones. What the fuck? There we go. What the fuck? Whew. If you're watching this video and you have done one of these jobs before, you are probably watching this and saying to yourself, what the heck are you doing? Do you have any idea what you are doing? Because what you are looking at is a very unorthodox setup for removing the keys on these torsion bar setups. And I was struggling earlier today trying to get the bars out of the control arms. And to no avail, I had to walk away in frustration and come back to it later in the day. But after coming back to working on this thing, in the downtime while walking away, I spent probably over an hour watching different YouTube videos of people trying to remove the torsion bars from their trucks. And out of all of the videos that I watched, there was one setup. It was like an 06 something Duramax 2500 four-wheel drive truck that had a similar cross member setup as I do. All that to say is the cross member in this 2500 Suburban is different than a lot of other platforms out there. So if you are trying to do an installation on keys on your vehicle, just double check the cross member, because what I'm doing is like very rare, I think, because even on the 06 Duramax, the guy was able to put a pry bar over the cross member down and hit the key to where he could hit the key out. This cross member is set up completely different to where I've not seen anything quite like this. There was nothing I could do to get a pry bar or a chisel through the cross member to be able to hit the keys. And after staring at it and looking at it for a while, if you look at the cross member, you can kind of see the cross member has this little like curve to it. And then this cross member has the same curve. And then the way that it mounts the frame is there's 2 bolts, and they look like dog bones. And if you take out the 2 bolts on the frame, what happens is you will then be able to move the cross member back toward the main frame cross member. I know it's kind of confusing, and it's hard to explain under here and for you to see it, but the way that you have to get the keys off, thankfully they were able to come off the torsion bars, but you have to drop down the torsion bar cross member, and then I clamped it to pull it back toward the main cross member, which then allowed me to drop the keys out. Pain in the butt. Absolutely pain in the butt. I watched a couple YouTube videos prior to doing the job, and I'm like, okay, I could do this. And then I started to go down that road of what they were doing, and then nothing was working for me. I was trying to second guess what I was doing, and then it really took me getting frustrated, walking away, coming back, reassessing the situation, and then starting to take some more bolts out, and then realizing, okay, well, this is the way it's supposed to work. I'm long-winded, I know, I'm sorry. I've been told I talk too much in my videos, but it's kind of one of them things where it's a how-to video, so how can you not talk that much, right? This is not a how-to video. This is a what not to do video. If you want keys installed in your truck, pay somebody to do them. What a nightmare. But that wraps up today. I'm going to be done for the day. I got to finish Corrosealing tomorrow, and then we're going to come back to it, and we're going to put this thing back together. So I'll see you tomorrow. Well, a few days have passed, and I finished the Corrosealing on the truck. And as you can see behind me, I have some helpers here that wanted to get into a YouTube video and help work on the truck. So they are going to help me put the keys back in. The process is basically the same. It's just reverse. The plan is to insert the keys up in the cross member, get them started on the bars, and then my boys are going to help me take the clamp off for the cross member, bolt the cross member back in, and then reinstall the key retainers and bolts, and then get everything adjusted. And that basically wraps up underneath. So that is the goal for right now. So that's Jacob. That's Aiden. This is Challenge to Build, and we're going to do that right now. So let's get to it. So basically, what has to happen is it's pretty well set up because it's still clamped in. But this needs to go like that. All right, now I want you to take the clamp off, Aiden. The other way. There you go. And what's going to happen is that cross member will come back toward me. And then that bar is already on there. Pretty simple stuff. All right, what you should be able to do is pick up that clamp. There you go. Pretty simple. And then just make sure that that doesn't fall out and hit you, which it shouldn't. That was the easy part. The harder part's going to be putting the cross member back up in and then putting the bolt up. There's a bolt that goes right up here. Actually, Jake, hand me. Nope, those are the retainers. The other ones. Yep. Here, take the nut off and get that ready to go. All right, kiddo. Same thing. Let me get this started. And just make sure, same thing I told Ada, make sure it doesn't fall out and hit you. All right, go ahead and start dropping that clamp down. And same thing, hold on to that clamp, make sure that clamp doesn't hit you either. Yep, just like that.
Stuck on
Just lift it up.
Stuck on
Do me a favor, pull down on this bar.
Like pull on?
Pull down, put your weight on it. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. You talked about getting a workout with it. There's your workout right there. All right, good. All right, that side's definitely on. Cross member's there. Careful, buddy. Here. Get your bolt ready to go. Let me see if I can scoot this back some more. Perfect, there we go. Beautiful.
I see where the bolt's gonna go.
All right, so Aiden, pass the bolt through right here.
I think I know where it's gonna go. It's right there.
Your side looks pretty well lined up. And then, hold on, buddy. Go ahead. Hold on. I gotta come forward yet. Hold on. All right, try that.
Got it.
Perfect. Give me the, actually, here, you can put the nut on. It's right up there. Me and Jacob will work on this side. Can you see it?
Yeah, I got it.
Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yep.
Make sure nothing falls on you.
I'm hoping it doesn't. You can come up. Now to your left. Or no, my left. Oh. I see it, Jake. Oh, it's not coming out yet. I see where it's supposed to go to. The stupid pipe thingy.
Push it up out of the way.
I'm trying.
Here.
Got it.
There you go. All right, same thing.
Jake, look, if you
put
come
your-
up here, the bolt's literally right here.
Yeah, there you got it. Right there. Put your nut on.
You see it right? Yeah, that's what I thought the bolt was gonna go.
All right, Aiden.
Yeah.
You are going to need that. And I'm going to need this. So, socket wrench. And then, same thing, righty tighty, lefty loosey. And then, normally you're supposed to put the socket wrench on the nut side.
Yeah.
But because of how tight it is up here,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we can't really do that. So, you'll work it from the bolt head, and then I'll just hold the nut, and we'll tighten everything up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, kiddo,
I'm on.
you got the show. Use two hands, get in a comfortable position and keep that socket wrench on there. Lay on your back and go to town. What, are you tired over there?
I'm getting out to when I'm ready to get the bolt.
Pull, laddie, pull, pull, laddie. All right, good. We'll snug them up here. We'll snug them up here in a second. All right, kid. You're up.
How are we supposed to get this thing?
I don't know. As tight as you can. Second.
Okay.
Give it some dad torque. There.
What the?
Put yours on there.
Hold on, I need the thing.
Oh,
The thing is stuck on it. Hold on.
that's why I got your help. Am I doing this the right way? I don't know if I'm doing this the right way. I need to go back to basics. All right. Good deal. This sits in a little groove up there, and then it sits in a little dimple there. And then what's going to happen is we're going to tighten this up. We have to keep this out of the way, and even my hand will start putting the pressure on. So now, like I told you earlier, we're now taking this clamp and we're going to tighten it, which is going to put the pressure back on this bar, which is going to put the twist back in, which then adds the spring. So it's kind of a pretty simple setup design, but the tricky thing is we have to get this tab all the way up so that way we can slide this in.
Is it dangerous to take this off? Like, how would you take that off?
Dad,
Like,
do something to turn this.
Yes, this is where it can get dangerous. So after quite a few tense little moments, you don't see my boys in here because they went to go eat lunch, which was the perfect time for them to do it anyway, because I don't want them under here when I was cranking this up under pressure. So the clocking position in the new keys versus the old keys is, you know, looking at it outside the truck when you match them up, doesn't look like there's much of a change, but it really does show itself when you start to crank up on them. So just take your time, be careful, double check, make sure everything's lined up where it needs to be. The retainer, the actual torsion bar retainer is now in, the bolt is up. You're going to want to make sure you look up in there and make sure that the bolt is inside the dimple. Make sure the retainer is sitting on the cross member evenly and flat. And then once all that is good, you can go ahead and remove the pressure off of the clamp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick measurement here to reference. My old measurement was 1.25 inches, so I'm going to check that. It looks like it still needs to go up some. So I think I'm going to use the clamp to put the pressure on and then run the bolt up. So I'm going to do that right now. A couple more cranks and I think we're good. So one thing that you didn't see me do after I took my measurement is I just wasn't happy with the seating arrangement of the torsion bar retainer. This guy right here. So I took out the bolt, took out the retainer, and started over again and grabbed the other retainer that I had, put it in, readjusted it. I'm back at my 1.25 inch measurement, and I'm much happier with the way that it fits up in the cross member. So I would probably recommend, something that always slips my mind in taking stuff apart is try to remember what side retainer you take out of what side. This way here, when you put it back together, you won't run into these little problems that I've had, and just helps with a smoother installation. But now that everything measures out and everything checks out, it's just a matter of releasing the pressure on the clamp. And I already know the bolt has pressure on it because I had to finish adjusting it up. So I know the bolt's good, the seating arrangement is good, it's in adjustment. Now it's just a matter of, yeah, see, there wasn't much pressure on that anyway because the bolt took it all. So awesome. That was quite a bit of pressure on there too. Definitely a little nerve-wracking, I ain't gonna lie. But it's in, it's tight, it's good. Now I just gotta do the other side. Sweet. So after finishing up the driver's side, following the same procedures that I took on the passenger side, I finished the installation on the keys. Again, I just want to remind you, take your time, have patience, make sure that the torsion bar retainers are in the proper spot. Make sure you have them aligned and adjusted as close as possible, and you shouldn't really have any problems. The last part of the installation on the leveling keys is up here on the front end. As you can see, I have the front end blown apart. I'm replacing the wheel bearings and rotors along with shocks, and with going along with the leveling keys, I ordered shock extenders. Now, all of the equipment that I'm using came from Supreme Suspensions. I found them on Amazon and ordered the parts according to my vehicle choice. The links for the parts that I used will be in the description below. They will fit other makes and models, so before you purchase any of your parts, just verify that they are the correct ones for the shock extenders are substantially larger in size, and what that allows is the use of a stock shock, and I am using original equipment, ACDelco gas shocks. Now, I'm going to put this in, but I'm not going to install it permanently because I'm going to get ready to undercoat up in this wheel well and down along the frame rails. I've been working on a lot of different projects on this truck, and undercoating is the next step for me, but I will at least show you how all of this goes together. And it's pretty simple, just using the original hardware that you took off of the other shock brackets and install the bolts. And then once your shock extender is in, all you have to do is take your new shock absorber They're serious. Whew. Those are some serious shocks. Way to go, ACDelco. Maybe I should just leave them in. And just like that, the shocks are installed. Pretty straightforward process. So that puts a wrap on today's episode with part one of the lift or leveling key installation. Part two will be tackling the rear differential of this truck, but unfortunately the rear differential right now is out getting repaired. So that will be coming up in later episodes. In doing any kind of work on the vehicle, make sure you follow manufacturer's recommendations on parts. Install your parts referring to vehicle manufacturer torque ratings and specs. Make sure that you are safe, wear your proper safety gear, have fun, and ultimately get out there and challenge your build. In the meantime, while you're waiting for episode 2 or part 2 of the suspension to drop, check out all of the other videos regarding this project. You can see that I'm working on the front end. I'm getting ready to undercoat, so there's Corroseal, all kinds of different things. I just got wrapped up and did the rear quarter panels on this, so there's a lot of rust repair and a lot of new parts coming in within the next couple of days. So stay tuned for all that. Thank you for watching. My name is Paul Michael. This is Challenge to Build. I will see you in an upcoming video.